I texted my ex when my dad was dying. If you want a feel good story, this would be a really good one. I had 2 seconds of courage, like we bought a zoo, sitting in the hospital room, it's standing room only. And I had recently talked to a friend and said, I just really wish I could have a hug from this person. I hadn't spoken to him in 5 months. And she goes, just ask him for what you need. It's a really important time in your life. And I'm like, but Google would say not to do that. So I'm sitting in this hospital room and I have this urge again. And so I pull out my phone and I text, I said, hey. And I'm feeling a little bit pathetic in this moment because an ex texting an ex when their dad is dying, like what is going on? And then I check the phone screen for the date because I have this realization it's May. And it's also his birthday. Now, Cringe Mountain feels even bigger, and I am left standing in the middle of it. And yet, the most important thing that's happening in my life right now is my dad. And I go to walk out of the hospital, and I get the text back. He says, hey, are you okay? And I said, can you talk? He said, yeah. So I get on the phone. I said, this is so selfish. I just really want a hug. And I know that it's your birthday and I'm really sorry. And he said, just come over tomorrow, get a hug. And I said, okay. So I pull up to his house the next day. I'm feeling a little anxious and nervous on the inside, like, what am I doing? And I get inside and the hug is exactly the way I had envisioned it being. Just really warm. He has broad shoulders. He's, 5'11". Just kind of pulls me in. I fit real nice in his arms. It was really cozy. And we sit down to chat. And of course, because I'm explaining all the things happening in my life, he's like, how are you doing financially? I said, not very good. I haven't been able to work. My kid's been bedridden and all of this. And he pulls out his phone and he wires me $5,000. He said, go take care of your dad. I'm here if you need anything. Let me know what you need. I said, okay. Now, I have 9 people staying at my house. It's a tiny house. I've got my nieces and nephews, my sister, my kids, all staying here. So I'm bouncing back and forth. In the morning, my dad passes away. I'd been at the hospital till 4 a.m. I get to his house, take a shower, step out of the shower, sister calls. Joanna, dad's breathing has changed. You should come back. I said, okay. It's the little girl cry, like you've just skinned both of your knees when you fell off your bike and you just want someone to be there for you. And my ex stands up and he gets my clothes and he starts getting me dressed. He puts on my socks and my shoes and pulls my sweatshirt over my head, laces up my shoes and ties them and says, I'll be here when you're ready. Go be with your dad. I said, okay. Kisses me on the forehead. I leave out the door. I go and hold my dad's hand till his hand gets cold. It was really special. It's like one of those moments where the presence is so palpable that you're just aware of everything and time stands still, it's just, it was so beautiful. And I get back to his house to sleep as long as I could because there are so many people at my house. And I wake up and I just feel this blanket of love and safety and belonging. And I've never experienced anything like this my whole life. And he feels it as well. A few weeks after the funeral, I texted him and I said, hey, thank you for walking through that with me and just being there with me. And he said, no, thank you. That was one of the most beautiful times in my life. It's not every day that somebody invites you into this kind of experience. And this whole experience with this person shifted the ground that I walked on because everything I had ever thought about being loved by somebody, aside from my dad, obviously, but you got to earn it. You have to work hard for everything you get. And here this person is with generosity of just giving me everything I could ever need with no strings attached. And it taught me a lesson about love in that true love contains no wanting. And when you are loving somebody, you're doing it for the sole purpose of being present in their life in whatever way that they need. And these moments can be so small. But feeling that kind of unconditional love in those moments were seriously ground altering. So if you needed the reminder, love is everywhere and it's in unexpected places. And sometimes you discover exactly what that means. And I think it makes me want to live with a more open heart because we close ourselves off because we're afraid of getting hurt. And at the same time, those little moments of risk is usually where the love actually is.